All right, the recording started, and I can go ahead and start the presentation.
Perfecto. So welcome everyone. This is 10:06. This is one of the webinar series that have the purpose to instruct, to show and tell where we are in the quality improvement project. And we are thankful to you guys. You are the stars in this game. And please, any feedback is very welcome always. And again, welcome. Thank you for giving us this time of your life and your day. And we are in October 21st. So let's roll it. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, Tavion. Can you go to display settings?
Display
Can y'all hear
settings.
me?
I can hear you.
No. Yeah. Go back
Yeah, we can
to
hear
the
you.
presentation
Yeah.
mode and then go to display settings
And they just swap. We have to just
and then
swap.
swap it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
PowerPoint's been doing that lately. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, can anybody see my screen?
No,
No.
you have to reshare.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got you. Okay, how about now? Can everybody see my screen?
Yep.
Perfect.
All
Thank
right.
you.
So good morning, everybody. Well, welcome to our October webinar series, Completing Your QIP. And it is finally halftime. So going into the locker room, I hope everybody's in good spirits on where they are with their projects. And yeah, we look forward to seeing what comes in the next few months.
All right. Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. As Tavion said, it is halftime when it comes to this QIP thing. So what we want you to do, if you haven't already, enter your name and your organization in the chat room, and also whether you're EHE or Ryan White. Just want to note today that EHE will not have a breakout group, and you all will leave directly after the general session. So a few housekeeping rules today. You'll use the square icon to change your viewing mode. Um, we want everybody to place yourself on mute unless you all are chiming into the discussion. And then we also highly encourage web cameras. We want to see your beautiful faces, if that's possible for you all today. Also, please feel free to use the chat room to interact with your colleagues and the rest of our team. And then also want to note that this meeting is being recorded, and we will also share this with you all with the toolkit after this meeting. All
Thank you.
righty. It is being recorded, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, good morning again, everybody. I just wanted to touch on the learning objectives for today. So during this webinar, we're looking at describing the current state of QIPs at the subrecipient level, participate in peer learning around the QIPs, as well as identifying the next steps leading to World AIDS Day poster symposium.
Thank you, D. And of course, after the conclusion of the webinar, we will provide you the presentation slides to today's presentation, the YouTube link to the webinar series as well, with the QIP storyboard template and the storyboard instructions for this year. And starting off, before we get into the presentation, we're gonna start off with an icebreaker. Very simple and seasonal. Would you rather? Okay, we're part of the older masses these days, full on adulting. So would you rather have unlimited candy or unlimited spice lattes? Please input your comments in the chat and we'll briefly review them. You know, it's fall season. More than kids just like candy. You know, I know a couple sugar junkies out here.
Yeah, and in the meantime, I would like to highlight the presence of Amanda Reese from Linkage. So I think it's important to we have her participation in this activity as a part of the support that we have from Part B.
Thank you,
Amanda, for
Oscar.
pouring out.
Yeah, thank you. Candy all the way over here.
Absolutely. I'm on the candy side myself. You know, I'm not a big pumpkin guy, but if they had a sweet potato spice, they might have me. All right, we're going to take about 1 more minute for any more responses in the chat. We'll proceed forward. So far, it looks like candy is the winner. Everybody would like unlimited candy. So I hope all of the unlimited candy crew, y'all have a great Halloween this year. Make sure you dress up, get all the candy you can whenever you go out. Peppermint bark is nuts, by the way, Cabrita. Now moving.
What? You don't like peppermint bark? Oh Lord. Okay.
Now moving forward, we're gonna go into our QIP metrics.
Right, I'm back. So I just wanted to briefly give a snapshot of the Ryan White side of the QIP. So starting from the left, I just wanted to orient everybody to the screen. We have our QIP type, our metric, and then what the Q1 results look like, the Q2 results look like, the percentage of change in that, and then just a brief interpretation. So starting with linkage to care, I did want to say we had 3 agencies looking at linkage to care. This is a measure that tracks how quickly our newly diagnosed or newly enrolled clients are connected to medical care. And then this year, we're looking at breaking that out into 7 days, 30 days, as well as 60 days after the diagnosis. That faster linkage supports our early viral suppression and better health outcomes. We can see Q1 for 7 days, we're around 11%. 30 days, 68%, and then 60 days, 82%. We can see that there was an increase in Q2 for all agencies within from quarter 1 to quarter 2. So that shows great improvement across all time frames. Going on to our relinkage. So this measure looks at how quickly clients who have fallen out of care are re-engaged. And we're tracking that as well for 7 days, 30 days, and 60 days, and identifying who is out of care. And this helps us access the strength of our re-engagement as well as our outreach services. For this specific QIP, we did have 2 agencies doing it. And we can see that across all measures, all of the agencies increased as well. And then just going down to our confirmation of care, this is for our support service providers. We were looking at the percentage of clients receiving those support services and wanting to identify that they also maintain linkage to care as well. And we see here that increased from 87% to 91% from Q1 to Q2. And then lastly, we have our appointment engagement, which as well as the other category, that's two agencies as well. And then we see that it dropped a little bit, but we're still missing 1 agency report. The first quarter being around 85% appointments retained, and then the second quarter being around 82 appointments retained.
All right, thank you very much, D'Angelo, for the Ryan White metric updates. And next we'll have EHEs.
I would like to, before we pass on this one, any comment from the recipients about the results, but we would like to hear your opinion about it. Because the purpose of this is giving you back. This is the summary of the data that you report, but we would like to give you that back and hear your comments on that if there is any. If not, we can move on. Yes, sorry for jumping in the middle. If you don't mind, please move to the table before
Yeah, no
for the
problem.
previous slides. Thank you.
Yeah, great question, Oscar. And this is also an opportunity. This is the first time we're able to share it back. So if this is something you're like, hey, we'd love to see this in advance of the webinar so that we can, come with questions, or I'm happy that it's going to exist in the slide deck with the toolkit. If you're, for example, doing the Relinkage to Care, right? You're one of those agencies, do you feel you could use this jurisdiction level to compare or share with your teams as you're reviewing your QI projects? So feedback also on how we share it back is totally welcome. And I know Piper has her hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump in and say huge thanks for this. I love seeing the comparison across the projects. That's a really nice shift. And so thank you. Then, of course, because I get all nitty gritty in the whole we had 4 and they had 4, we went strong. But I know it's all just based on our QIP. But just kudos to all the teams, because speaking for Relinkage, what Parkland's tackling, it is difficult work. It's messy work, not because of the clients, just almost because of the way that we can visualize them, right? How do we quickly identify them to move them into a space? And where do we consider that first touch point to start that quote unquote clock? So again, we're learning as we're going with this Relinkage work. It is not easy for us. So just as a comfort for anyone else there frustrated with your QIP, we're struggling too. So just thanks everyone. And I really appreciate this being brought forward.
Thank you, Piper. And because I've just noticed this year is technically everybody's doing, some projects are the same title, but the methodology and the population that you use to determine the denominator is different for Prism, different for Parkland, even though both work in Relinkage. So it's or linkage. So that kind of comment helps to exchange opinion and raise the level of knowledge on how to create a quality improvement project. If that would be the best practice, but can we keep it for the best practice and where it should be? It's the good moment here, peer-to-peer education on that piece, and the feedback is always helpful. Thank you, Piper. Anybody else has a comment on that, on their own project or question for that? If you notice the support services, they confirm if the client is in care. We don't call that the linkage to care anymore, because last year was called the linkage because they were involving one support and medical providers. But this year we separate that, even though it's the same linkage, because the purpose of confirmation of that, if the client is in care, is if not in care, try to refer that to get into linkage. I mean, it's when EHE can play a huge role on that, because if the client is not in care, you can reach out the EHE peer navigator program, and they can help the client to get in care. And remember, the first visit after being diagnosed is crucial, and it's proven that increase the chances for that client be virally suppressed in the longest term. Anybody? If not, let's move on.
I appreciate the insight, Doc. So going forward, going into EHE's metric data.
Good morning, everyone. So this is a quick little look at linkage to care for people who have come through the health department, sexual health clinic. I've shown similar data before. This is showing data from January through September of this year. We had 66 patients, both new and previously diagnosed with HIV at the sexual health clinic. with an average of 8.8 days to linkage after being seen at the clinic, as seen on the bottom left of the chart there. On the right, you'll see at the top, link to care, 52 people, 79%. That is representative of the total 66 patients seen at the clinic. From the 52 people that were linked to care, 56% were linked to care within 7 days, which is 29 people, and 97% of people were linked to care within 30 days. So still doing the majority of our patients are getting linked to care within 7 days, though, you know, we're always trying to get that percentage even higher, but having 97% linked to care within 30 days is really great. As far as the 21% of people who were not linked to care, those people are continually being outreached by EHE care navigators to make sure that they're linked to care and receiving treatment. And as we go through the remainder of the calendar year, we expect to see, you know, linkage to care rates increase. And let's see, what else do I have to say? Yeah, that's kind of a quick overview. Yeah, we're always trying to prioritize the warm handoff between the sexual health clinic and EHE. And we're also in the process of migrating data systems. For the past couple of years, we've been using a very manual Excel-based data entry. And we're in the process of transitioning over to Salesforce, which should allow a little bit more streamlined and consistent data sharing between the sexual health clinic and the EHE. So that will hopefully help improve linkage to care as well. And we can go to the next slide, unless there are any questions here.
Any questions for me, EHE subs?
Yeah, this is Dwight at ASD. The link to care within 30 days. What is the denominator used for that? What is the basis? This seems to be different than the
Yeah.
other two metrics.
So the right half of the slide, that data is kind of all together. So the 97%, 50 people, that's representative of the 52 people shown at the top that were linked to care. And that's like a subset of the 66 patients who were seen at the clinic.
Okay, got it. That's what I thought it might be. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
I have a quick some kudos and some excitement and then some questions for other people. So I'm very excited that you all have been in the process of transitioning to Salesforce. I think it helps with data dashboard visualization and more real-time reporting. And also a lot of folks on this call, whether you're Ryan White or EHE funded, know what it's like to work in Excel and how brutal that can be. And so that systemization is really awesome. So looking forward to that. I really love the way that you display and share this data, Anthony. I really always appreciate seeing that sort of scale with the number of days to linkage appointment. So we can see where there are definitely outliers, right? One individual took 42 days. There's maybe some other concentration there around 27, 28, or maybe more than 30. So we see those outliers, we see those stories and scenarios represented, but I definitely love how you give that average, right? So we can look at a high level, who is linked in 30, who's linked in 7, but then we can also look at the median. So one of my questions, again, whether you are EHE funded or Ryan White funded, and you're doing linkage to care, or maybe you're doing relinkage, do other folks also sort of look at the median number of days as part of this, or maybe you're sharing it internally with your team? And if not, that's okay. But just curious if other people use similar ways of looking at this data outside of just the endpoint outcome. How many were linked in 7? Piper mentions median helps, though it is difficult to pull it in quickly. Absolutely, hear that.
Yeah, I didn't include median this time, honestly, because I feel like people are more familiar with average. Um, yeah, I didn't calculate it this time, but yeah, that'd be interesting to double check. I will also say that the range shown here, even though, so the average is slightly higher than what I reported around this time last year, but the range is smaller. So even though even though the average might have shifted a little bit, the overall highest number of days to linkage appointment is less than before.
Yeah. Well, another detail that I would like to highlight is look at the average is 8.8 days. We've been pushing for linkage to care in 7 days. Kim in a last year mentioned maybe it's not the reality, and she's right. Maybe we are not ready to have someone link within 7 days. HSNT could see that in the previous year, the previous quality improvement project. So I mean, it's what is our reality? That's what we're building here. Maybe it's not 7 days the key, even though clinically it will help. But another point of support on let's keep digging. What is the cause? Why we cannot link someone within 7 days? The treatment initiation, same day of diagnosis, same day of the medical appointment. So it's more that we can wake up with this average 8.8, not just 7 days. Maybe we are pushing for a candy in the sky, or pie in the sky, or
I think
maybe a
it's
little carrot in the sky. Yes,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I think it's a good goal, and I mean, I think not just EHE, but I think a lot of providers are trying to cater towards what's the best fit for the patient, and sometimes that is 7 days or less, sometimes it's slightly more than 7 days.
But remember, this is a very close environment. Sexual health clinic is right here, is next to us. Outside, someone will get tested in a campaign of testing in a bar or whatever time. The count start right there, or the count start when it's confirmed. Whatever the time is a gap that we outside the bubble of Ryan White services really is more difficult to bring someone into care. So
Yeah,
it's very
and
it's
the sexual health clinic is not providing HIV services at the time, but that is the plan within the next few months, I believe. So we will be able to provide some HIV services in-house, which should reduce the number of days to linkage. Thanks.
Thank you, Anthony.
Yeah, thank you.
There's a couple of questions, Anthony. If you don't mind, please put it out.
Oh yeah. Let's see.
After Jamie's Piper is asking, curious is that our prevention implementation plan asks for 14 days from the county or from answering RFP details aligning goals. Cheryl Watson, I'm interested in the reason 7 days was not possible.
Yeah, I'm sorry, in the interest of time too, if you can answer one question, Anthony, and if others can answer those in the chat so that we can continue moving forward. It's already 10:30. We have an
Sure.
hour
Yeah,
left and
I'll add it to
we
the
haven't
chat.
got to break out. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for the discussion at hand. We can proceed during Q&A if need be. So just moving forward, going into the PDSA stages, and currently with all Ryan White subs. So currently we have in planning, we have Parkland, Can Community Health, RCD, Cali Clinic. With the due stage, AHF, HSNT, Legacy, Legal, and Prism. And in the study stage, we have ASD with nobody in the act stage currently, which is fine. So I think everybody's doing pretty well with their QIPs. And going into EHE stages.
Yeah, this is just a quick little look at the PDSA cycle, the different stages where our subrecipients are at. pretty much everyone's either finishing up the planning stages or starting the do stages at the moment. Yes.
Thanks. Now for World
All right.
AIDS Day.
Thanks, Anthony. So for the next couple of slides, we're going to focus on World AIDS Day. Just kind of talk about a little bit about where we are, what's going to happen, so you guys know. So hopefully by now everybody knows that World AIDS Day has changed. It was originally on the 5th, and it is now on December 15th. The time will be from 10 to 3:30. It will be held at the Mabel Peters Caruth Center, same as last year. For anyone who's not able to attend, there's the address. And registration is required, especially if you want to participate. We will have lunch provided. And the Eventbrite link is here. Tavion, if you're able to drop that in the chat, or if not, it'll be on the slide when the slide set goes. Oh, Cabria already did. Thank you, Cabria. When the toolkit and everything rolls out, so everything won't be like ready like right away. I try to put everything in there together. So it'll probably be by the beginning of next week, the things that we're about to go through. But the main thing is just to mark your calendar, you know, if you haven't already, for December 15th, from 10 to 3:30. Next slide, please. So we're going to just go over a part of the storyboard instructions. The full instructions will be included in the toolkit. Some of this has changed from how we did it last year, so we're just going to kind of focus on some of those. So for instance, we're going to start with the second bullet. You know, this is going to be the 2025 template, and the template will be in glass cubes. I've already made the updates to it. We'll look at a 2023 one shortly. You're going to make your edits on that document, and then you're going to upload it to Glass Cubes, where we have the World AIDS Day storyboard section. Make sure you don't upload it as an image because it makes it kind of blurry. We'll see by an example here. If y'all were there last year, you may have noticed some of that too. So upload it as a document. Because we changed the date of the event to the 15th, the due date has now changed. So the storyboards will be due by the end of business on Monday, December the 1st. And like before, we're going to look at a storyboard template in a second. You know, we had it's 9 areas on the storyboard. But this time we're going to ask that the subrecipients only talk about 3 areas. So from the list below, so from data, aim statement and goals, root cause analysis, test of change, results, lessons learned, or your celebration corner. You're going to talk about 3 of those things, not the whole storyboard. And you're going to be sure to add your agency's name and list your QIP option at the top. Next slide, please. So each of the subs will have 4 minutes to present. So you want to kind of, you know, start off, because we know who everybody is for the most part, but everybody doesn't know. So introduce yourself, or your team, whoever's on stage with you, name your agency, and your QIP. For those who have Ryan White and EHE, you know, mention that too. We're the Ryan White team, or we're the EHE team. And then you're going to end your presentation with the 3 areas that you choose. We're not going to choose, but we do want you to choose from that list that I mentioned: the data, the aim statement and goals, root cause analysis tool, test of change, results, lessons learned, and celebration corner. So just like before, remember there was two big slides, screens behind the stage. So your poster will be displayed there. So bring notes with you to guide you through your presentation, because we're not going to have the AV venue stats zoom in on the storyboards, because that caused some of the blurriness too that we experienced last year. So either you have the option, the CQM staff can present by yourself, and you can have other people central to your process present. I think Piper brought Dr. Kitchell last year to help with her presentation. You could do something like that, or you can have your whole linkage team come up, and talk about, to do the presentation. That's kind of up to y'all. So you have some options there. We will have digital presentations again, just like last year, and all the Ryan White agencies will send their questions to me, and EHE's questions will go to AJ. Next slide, please. And so here's a template. This is from 2023. So 2025 will look just like this. I've already changed the dates and stuff. But see how it's kind of blurry? It's not, real crisp. That's because, I think this was like a screenshot or, an image or something. So we want you to not do that and upload the actual document. So previously we've all had the same project. So this time we have a, different project. So if you didn't do linkage to care, you would put whatever your QIP option was in there at the top, in the white, in that left-hand corner. And then, put your agency name. And if you were Ryan White or EHE, for those who have both, I think Prism and is it HS&T, I think, that are doing separate ones. So when we talk about the 9 areas of the posters, we're talking about these 9 boxes. So these are all required for the poster. But when you present, you're only going to talk about 3 out of the 7 boxes. So I'm excluding the team box. The very first column, there's a team box and there's a team photo box. So we're not including those. So that's how we got from 9 to 7. So you're going to present on the remaining 3 things out of the 7 remaining boxes. So is that clear? We have any questions or anything? You can unmute if you have a question. I see some thumbs ups. Okay, cool. So we're going to roll on. Next slide, please. All right. So another change for the World ASA. No, last time, before we did all the presentations in a row, and it was a lot. So this year we're going to split the presentations into 2 sessions. So there'll be a morning session and there'll be an afternoon session. So all subs are required to stay all day. So everybody needs to be there by 9:30. And our AM presenters are AHF, Abounding Prosperity, ASD, Cali Clinic, CAN, CHE, HS&T Ryan White, and HS&T EHE. Next slide, please. And then our afternoon or PM presenters are Legal Hospice, Legacy Cares, Parkland, Prism EHE, Prism Ryan White, RCD, and SBPAN. So we're just kind of going in alphabetical order. If something happens, I think like last year, I don't remember exactly our order last year, but if something happens and somebody's not there when they need to be, there's no problem. We'll, fit you in, move you to the back or, whatever. So everybody will have a chance, which the main things is like 4 minutes. Last year we had 7 minutes and it took a long time. And so we will still have presenters and awards and presentations, performances, artists and stuff. So it'll be, we don't have the full final how everything is going to go yet. Just wanted to make sure that you all know what time to be there, where to be, that your presentation is 4 minutes. You get to choose the 3 areas, those main things like that. Any questions about any of what we've covered? Okay. All right, great. So thanks. Yeah, Ken, this will be y'all's first time. So everybody else, you kind of at least know a little bit about what to expect. And so we're excited to have Ken and all of our other subrecipients there with us. Okay, I think
all good. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Angie.
Yeah.
So continuing on, this is our regular cadence for the year, and we are in our final action period before the Postal Symposium on December the 15th. So between now and the 25th on to the 15th of December, we're getting down to it, everybody. So submission due dates. So your next submission for your PDSA should be on December the 15th. As well as your root cause analysis, if anybody still needs to submit those. It's QIP metrics, if applicable. Any metric data, just make sure everybody has them in accord. Then we have our symposium. And then once again, March 15th in the new year, that'll be your next time to submit as well. Okay. Question and answer time. So for anybody who has questions, this would be your time to have the floor. Dr. O, would you like to oversee this matter?
I just want to highlight the presence of the CAI representative. We have it here. It's something new that from Ryan White. ASD is the only one who has that as a quality improvement project, but I want to highlight the presence of her in this meeting. So it is good to have. Her name is Monica, by the way. Sorry, I didn't mention the name. Monica from Kai. And the question that I have is the agenda. I mean, down the line when the rest of the agenda will be available for Subrecipients. If anybody from EHE has that detail.
Yeah, so I will just say we'll find out when the World AIDS Day Board meets, and we'll get that out to them at that time. Because we don't have all those details right now, so we won't try to go into that.
All right, thank you.
Go ahead, Dale, you have a question? You're muted, Dale.
I thought other people would be in front of me, so I was a little surprised. Oscar, I just, you mentioned earlier, Excel, working off of spreadsheets, sort of the manual data grooming we did. So in one of the last meetings, you said maybe something could be worked out on retention and care in Qualtrics or somewhere. I'm just hoping that thought doesn't get lost along the way.
Well, we can retake it at, I don't remember where we were on retention and care, but it is being reported through Qualtrics. So as to be there, we can put that in a to-do list and revisit that portion and see what exactly we are collecting on as a metric on retention, which is already presented, but it can be modified or what we need to do with that. But the information that you sent, it is collected in Qualtrics and it will be summarized in Qualtrics for sure.
Yeah, well, I wish it could be calculated in Qualtrics is what I'm saying. But at any rate, that's something that is I have to compute manually. I mean, it's in Excel, it's data points and all of that, but it takes a lot of work to get to the end result. So I'm saying, again, if anybody has an Excel tool or otherwise that they use on retention and care, or if there's some way that could be calculated in E2 Dallas, maybe you said E2 Dallas, that could be calculated, maybe it'd be a possibility for E2 Dallas. But anyway, I'm just trying to remind if there's a possibility for that, you'd get a big endorsement from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I do remember that note from Sangeeta mentioned that will help and facilitate the process. But whatever we can do cannot be implemented in the middle of the reporting. Could that create probably some commotion and disruption and thing? But we have time to work on that interactive spreadsheet for the beginning of the next fiscal year for sure. That's something doable. But thanks for bringing that up. Any other question?
All right. Thank you, Dr. O, for taking questions and answering them amicably. So moving forward, Ryan White subs, we would like for you to stand by and stay tuned. EHE, thank you very much for participating in this October webinar. Your section of the webinar has concluded. Please use the QR code right here and complete evaluation poll before leaving. And I'll just leave the slide up for you to do so.
Right.
Yeah, totally noted, Piper. I think Octavio just dropped it in the old chat ski. Great point. And
Okay.
I would just remind folks, feel free to reach out, Octavio, myself, as EHE consultants, as well as AJ and Miranda, others. We're happy to meet with you and help you with those storyboards or answer any questions about World AIDS Day or anything else in between, especially when it comes to QIP.
Thank you, JB.
Okay, so thank y'all for attending. So we're gonna, this is our, if you're EHE, you can go ahead and drop off now, and this is gonna be our Ryan White breakout space. Can you switch the slide for me, Tavian?
Yes, sorry, pardon.
Yeah, so for Ryan White, we're gonna just kind of talk about y'all's QIPs, right? You know, for a little bit, we have some time, more than 30 minutes for a change. So feel free to kind of pull up your own submission where you can see it for your PDSA, because we're going to give you a chance. We're going to start off by so we have 10 subs now for Ryan White. So each sub choosing to answer one of these questions, and you have about 2 minutes to answer those, you know, to talk about whichever these questions that you choose. If you know off the top of your head, that's fine. If you need to go to Glass Cubes or to your desktop or wherever you store them so that you can see them to help guide you through, then that's fine. And then time permitting, we'll maybe go through for one more round. Yay, Norma, yay, we didn't lose Norma today. We're happy to see you here too. So I don't know who's all here. Do we have, I see Norma, I see Dale, I see Piper. Let me look real quick to see if we have somebody from all 10 of our, yeah, I see Astrid, I see Brooke, I see Courtney, Dwight, Jasmine, Kim. We have Kim from HSNT, and we have Kimberly from CAN, Lauren, Nisa. So is that everybody? Is that all the, okay.
Yeah, you're good. You're ready to rock and roll, sis.
All righty. So I don't want to put anybody on the spot and say we're going to alphabetical order, call anybody to go first, anything like that. So it would be wonderful if whoever feels comfortable will go, choose one of these questions and just go ahead and start. And then we'll just, you know, you'll have a couple minutes, and then we want to give everybody an opportunity to speak. So we'll try to stay to that 2-minute time frame. Nisa, you got your hand up. You're volunteering to go first? You got a question?
Yes, good morning. I'm volunteering to go first.
Oh, awesome.
Hello, everybody. How are y'all? This is Nisa Ortiz at Legal Hospice of Texas. So I'm going to read off our AIM statement for you all. Our AIM statement is linkage to care. By February 28, 2026, we will link 90% of our new self-referred HIV clients into care within 30 days of opening a new case. So for support services, which is what we are, we provide free legal services to our clients, and most of our clients are referred from another agency. So we are tracking those clients who are self-referred or returning clients from the past that have been to us before and don't necessarily go through a case manager to come back to us. So for this next quarter, one of the changes that we'll be doing is instead of me trying to track all the new self-referred clients manually, I will be attempting to see what it's like to try to track them in care in E2 Dallas for this quarter that we have now that we're currently in. So hoping that going through E2 Dallas will be less of a time restraint for me and that it'll be easy breezy, but I know I'm going to come across some hiccups just from experience. So I'm excited to see, how the next quarter goes, trying to do it that way. And obviously for the clients that I'm not able to confirm, we do it manually by just trying to ask the client and figure out where they're receiving care and when's the last time they received care. But yes, thank you.
Great, great. Thank you so much. Thank you for providing that information and for volunteering to go first. And so just real quickly, because we're going to move to the next one. So a lot of when legal uses their population that they're referred, they have a lot of people that you guys refer to them, they already are in care. So we focus this time on self-referred clients who show up without being referred from an agency. So that's just wonderful what they're doing. And if anybody was wondering about that, I was just wanting to share that. So thanks again, Nisa. And now we're ready for our second agency.
Oh, this is Dale. I could go. Dale Wilson with Resource Center.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So I want to talk about a couple of things about the aim statement and the goal. So with this new data points that we could report how linkage in 7, 30, and 60 days. I really didn't do a very good job first time around of recomputing that for the past year to see what the possible goals might be. I had to go back and just work all of that out and say, okay, if I'm going to guess what I can do in the next year, I have to study the last year. And we didn't do the data that way because that wasn't what we were reporting on. So first of all, I had to stop and go back and look at the data over the previous year to develop some new goals. But and then secondly, my aim statement is just for the linkage to care within 7 days. And I'm wondering, do I need a name statement for the percentage linked within 30 days and within 60 days? Or if anyone else is setting a different name statement regarding the 7 days, the 30 days, the 60 days?
So I would say you don't need, the original project was in 7 days. So linking in 7 days. And then we said we would try to capture outside of that, the 30 and the 60, just to see. So your aim statement is good. Just on the 7, does your report for your QIP metric that you send to D, is it broken out by 7 days, 30 days, and 60 days?
No, no, well, no, yeah, because it needed to be. But so in terms of reporting, I believe everybody's reporting for their within 7, 30, and 60, but I didn't set up a goal for 30 and 60. And it sounds like maybe I don't need to. But yes, as far as reporting it today, I think I did that correctly.
Okay, yeah, so your aim statement, it just needs to be the 7 days because that's the actual project. But we did want to try to pick up stuff outside of that, especially because we've heard in I think a couple agencies, HS&T, I don't know, maybe Piper, Parkland, other people said, 7 days is maybe not realistic for them. But
I think
Oscar mentioned it a little bit.
It's been a great change in the reporting. I think it's been very interesting to see, and encouraging to see what can happen if you're not where the 7 days, within 7 days. Well, I think it's been a great addition to look at the data at 30 days and 60 days, and very encouraging to me. So
Yeah,
and
thank you.
that's my two. Thank you.
Thank you. I think so too, because and we don't want everybody to get down and say, oh, we didn't hit 7 days, so we didn't do anything. Because then you get to see, yeah, you did. Look what you did within 30 days, and look what you did within 60 days. So thanks so much, Dale, for that. Who wants to go next?
This is Piper. I'll tag in just because, oh, sorry, Kim, I'll let you absolutely go first. You did the appropriate hand raising.
No, that's fine. You can go.
Okay, in efforts of time. So just, to tag into Del, what you were asking, we stuck with our aim statement being 7 days also, just because we were able to ask for the 30 and 60 day to also be captured and reported. It just, that kind of answers some of our report out questions that the agency or that we have internally. So we stuck with 7 days. It gets particularly messier when it's returning to care clients, so not newly diagnosed. Just as a measure of when to start the clock. I know that seems very technical, but from a relinkage aspect, it's not appropriate to test again to be able to then start a clock. Really, a patient can report their situation and their previous care, or within Parkland's lens, we can see that, at least with the care that we provide, and pretty robustly, we can usually have a touch point in our care system in Epic to be able to see if they had a previous care marker with us. So we focused on the emergency and urgent care department just because that's where the EMA's clients are presenting to care after maybe not getting their HIV needs met. So we've just been building on looking at the report from this lens, because previously we were looking at 6 months. We were trying to kind of think upstream and look at clients who were between 6 months and 12 months. That's what we typically internally refer to as lost to care. So with this effort of looking 12 months and out, it was, another exercise in, how do we quickly review the census or look at those care markers to see, how our care team can quickly act while they're in the ED or the urgent care system. And that, of course, is our biggest challenge, is they present for at times, HIV related issues. And so just trying to kind of prioritize and normalize within the ED and UCC that everyone's kind of championing, looking for those HIV markers, whether it's a viral load, whether it's a HIV diagnosis. We've done lots of training out within our team and advocacy with our ED embedded teams, just to try and kind of normalize that quick conversations. So that's why we kind of get stuck in that plan mode versus being able to, what we do. Our do currently is just, we still have staff embedded in the ED, right? We still have staff ready to interact and engage with the census, with the clients, and then any kind of follow-up. It's just once a person leaves that care center, just like a clinic visit, it is hard to get on their radar. So our do is, we really are in the do stage. We just kind of keep doing little iterations of how to tighten up, giving Sam and Alex vital kind of what's the most in real time information we can get them. So yeah, that's our work currently.
Mm-hmm. Thank
How
you,
do you define
Piper.
the denominator on that place, which is ER? I mean, can be, I'm pretty sure it's difficult. Can you give us some insight on that?
Sure. So when a patient presents an Epic, it's marked, right? So they check in, they check into the ED or the UCC, and our data team is looking for any of those check-in points, and that's considered the encounter, which is pretty risky in the sense of able to be acted on. But we wanted to start with, seeing what the volume of clients coming into the ED over the quarter was that had a previous touch point. And we did, with our current denominator, I believe it has an ED touch point is like the quote unquote timekeeper, right? That's when the date starts. So if they came in today, it'd be, did they get linked in 7 days from 10/21, right? And that That's one hurdle. You know, we tried to narrow the focus of who we could see that's appropriate for that by seeing was there a previous Parkland care point there, whether it was an ED utilization or within our HIV services department, right? So just kind of looking for, was there an HIV marker, whether it was a viral load, a test, a diagnosis code, and then exploring from there. You know, we have a census that gets generated daily, and also our nurse triage team in the ED and UCC. Kudos to Alex and Sam. They've formed relationships to where for our routine testing, they are kind of naturally push a client, you know, they're screening clients and they're pushing them to our team just for follow-up. And so just they're able to advocate. They catch lots of clients that way. It seems like our volume's been about, I don't know, 250 each quarter of clients that kind of come through meeting those markers. I'm not even looking at my numerator and denominator right now. But it's low. We started off with like 37% linkage within 7 days. And I think we're at a whopping 41, 42. So it's going to be like a slow grind to really find any aha moments for how we can quickly engage those clients back into care.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're kind of pulling hair just to determine that denominator with Dimitri and how can we capture this and all those details. Thank you very
y'all
much.
missed lots of arguments and loud shouting matches of this, not that. I mean, friendly. We're like friendly shouting. We just talk loud. So, you know.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you so much for sharing. All right, so Ken had to jump off. They had a conflict. So we're ready for our next volunteer.
I'll go. This is Kim with Health Services of North Texas. We were looking at engagement in care, focusing specifically on our no-shows. And I started out with brainstorming with our case managers and referral for healthcare. It seemed at the time the annual and 6-month updates weren't really a problem in patients not coming in for their visits. However, since then, both of our referral for healthcare coordinators have left, and we have 2 new ones. So I have it on my PDSA now that I will follow up with the 2 new ones once they have some time in, but that'll probably be after this project. But from the feedback from our medical case managers, one thing that they see over and over, and there were several things, but the one I focused on is they have patients that no-show for labs, and they're like, well, I never got a reminder. So I've been looking into what is our current reminder process or follow-up process for no-shows. And we do have a platform called Luma. It's my understanding that will be changing in the future, but we still have some time to go before that changes. So in the meantime, after talking to our medical case managers and then talking to our front office, not everybody's on the same page. So our next step, we are working with someone from the front and someone from the back, and one of the case management side, to get on the same page, get a workflow down. That way these patients don't fall through the cracks. And that's the kind of where we're at right now. So we're kind of halfway in the do and the study. We did some stuff and we studied it, and now we're doing some more stuff. So.
And you're working in how many locations are involved in this of yours? Just one?
No, 2. We have a provider in Denton and a provider in Plano.
All right, thank you, Kim. Look in the chat too. Parkland, Piper mentioned something kind of that they had, though, that there was no flags on the labs, I guess, something. So maybe that is something that can be done pretty simply where that can be addressed.
Yeah,
right.
and at one point they were doing one thing, one process, one workflow, and it changed, and that doesn't seem to be working. But they still, even with that change that happened at some point, they're still. I'm hearing different things. So, and one thing that I have found over and over each year in the project is communication is essential. Especially our front office is not as involved in Ryan White. I remember being in the front office and I was like, "Oh, we pay for people's rent. We pay for people's insurance. We at that point we had a food pantry." And they're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, but it's just Ryan White." And so I remember the front office being in the front office and like just not understanding Ryan White. So I think that's very important. For them to
Yeah,
have a better understanding.
so
And
true.
you may have some understand and learn it, but then they leave, and we've got new people coming in, and it just starts all over again.
Yeah. Never ending cycle. Do y'all still have eClinical Works?
Yes.
Okay. Have
But
you
we
reached
don't.
out, maybe reaching out to them about the flagging system? I don't remember if any of our other subs share that or not, but Jamie, you might have some insight too that you can share in the chat for Kim.
Well, and we're not. Our reminder calls aren't going through ECW now. It's going through Luma. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. So we're gonna move, I think, to Norma, but that for a team, that might be something we can include in the ECC breakout group or something, because it seems like that might be a problem for others as well. Like maybe we can problem solve, like how to maybe make these reminders happen inside the EMR or with some other platform that's assisting. Maybe we can put that on our radar. Tavion, can you write that down as a possible ECC agenda topic? But if not, then maybe
Yes,
in the
ma'am.
future. Thank you. Okay, Norma, I saw your hand raised. Were you volunteering or did you have a question?
Yeah, I was volunteering.
Okay, go ahead.
Much like HSNT, we are also working on an appointment engagement project. Our aim statement is, excuse me, will reduce our no-show appointments for Ryan White patients from 10.4% to 7.2%, with a focus on men, women, and youth patients at our single site location by February 28th, 2026. We had started tracking no-shows and had developed an Excel spreadsheet, so this has made it somewhat easier. However, what I did from the Excel spreadsheet is I started tabulating all the information to get us at a base rate. So I'd gotten the base rate at 10.4%, and again, the goal is to get it at 7.2. It's not, I mean, I'm kind of happy in talking with Oscar at our previous group meeting in that it's the no-show rate is pretty good, but I think we can get it a little bit better than the average. What we're going to do is look at improving the Excel spreadsheet and the kind of data we collect. So minor modification to the tracking logs. I'm also wanting to do a survey of our clients to see if there's anything that they think that they can suggest that we do to improve the no-show rate. And then potentially develop some type of handout to give on how attending your medical appointments and doing your labs improves your medical adherence. There were some other things, but one of the suggestions that I got from the group is perhaps my spread was too large and I should tone down and do much more focused activities to improve. So that's kind of where we're at. I'm open to any and all suggestions, but I'm kind of excited that I think that this is something that Cali Clinic can really sink their teeth into and see some type of improvement.
Yeah, good job, Norma. And yeah, you had a very comprehensive list of things. I remember the log was very impressive. I think, yeah, like you said, if you scale back and kind of focus on one or two things that, prioritize those things, that'll get you in a great place. And I'm so glad that we have something, a project that aligned with you in your clinic and your jurisdiction, because I know before it was kind of hit or miss. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
And if I'm not mistaken, we have PRISM, ASD, and AHF left. Is that right?
Right.
Yeah, this is Dwight Harry at ASD.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, our aim statement is by February 28th of 2026, 80% of our Hillcrest House pilot group who received our trauma-informed care services, which were screening, referral education, skill building classes, that they will respond to post-service surveys. And these surveys that they've taken after having received those trauma-informed care services will help show that they will stay engaged in care. The classes are intended to increase our clients' awareness and their confidence in being able to identify and react to trauma when they're triggered. Uh, Specifically, what we're looking for is to improve their awareness of things regarding trauma-informed practices. We want them to have confidence with using the trauma-informed practice, and then lastly, we want to enhance their physical health, including their viral load. So what we're looking at doing with this quality improvement project is measuring the effectiveness of these targeted interventions using educational sessions. And we have some visual aids also in these classes, these 4 specific classes that should help them learn about trauma and be able to use it, and hopefully uh, based on that training, those services, we're going to give them two different. We'll have 2 different surveys to measure afterwards. One will be we call it the "I'm in charge of me" feedback, and then the second one is called "I'm in charge of me" feedback form for people that went through all 4 services. So we'll have one for people that started receiving the services but didn't complete. And then we'll have a similar survey for those that completed all of the 4 specific services. And then we'll analyze the data of those surveys to hopefully see how these trauma-informed care services are making an impact or no impact on their behaviors.
And what is the
All
sample
right.
size you said? I'm sorry, I just didn't hear the sample size you have. I'm sorry. Thank you.
We had a pilot group of 8. We're expanding that pilot group to the entire campus going forward. Uh, so we'll have a potential sample size of over 120.
Yeah, kudos, Dwight, and good job. And look in the chat too. Everybody's, there's some good comments there for you and what you're doing. And you are you're the first to lead this endeavor for us, our Ryan White Subs and trauma informed care. So we're wishing you success, and I know all the others will be wanting to hear what happened, how you did things too, if and when they choose to go that route as well.
Yeah, you
So,
and CAI have been very helpful to ASD in navigating us in this particular QIP. So we give you thanks and praise as well, because it's you guys have kind of steered us where we ought to be headed.
yeah, well, thank you. We appreciate that, and our team and Jamie, because it's been a challenge, you know.
Yes,
But we're learning along the way.
we are.
So
Yes,
thanks
thank
so
you for
much.
your help. We appreciate
Hmm.
you.
Thank you. All right, one of our last two groups.
Hi, this is Sandra from EHE.
Hi.
Okay, so our aim is that by February 2026, we will link at least 20% of our newly diagnosed HIV clients into care within 7 days. And I know it feels like 20% is low, but we started out at around 7% for linkage within 7 days. And that's why we did not go very ambitious with the aim, but I'm happy to report that at least even with the first 2 quarters, we've already exceeded that aim. So some of the things that we are doing currently, one is to spread the ability to make appointments to more departments than we had previously. So right now, the linkage department, the case management department, so more departments are able to schedule an appointment, especially if it's someone that's been that has tested positive. So we're trying to take advantage of all the touch points so that we take that extra step we had in the process where, you know, you're writing a note and then maybe front desk gets to schedule an appointment. So right now, the linkage department, case management, of course, the clinical department, like more people are able to schedule appointments, especially for the first 2 visits. The other thing that we're working on is to make sure we have enough coverage. We are now, I would say, fully staffed, because the challenge we had is that we had transition at one of our locations for our medical directors, but right now we are fully staffed, and the medical department has made it in such a way that even when, let's say, one is on vacation, there's enough coverage for all sites, and you know, so on their end, they made sure that we had enough providers at any given point. And then we also always check in with, I know Shonda is here, but we always check in to make sure that we have appointments available, even if someone were to walk in and test positive right now. That's something always check to make sure that there is an appointment available in the next 7 days. Then one of the things we're also exploring, and this idea we got from the EHE side, we do have a community health worker. So we are fresh to the community health worker program, and they come in with the extra advantage of engaging clients beyond just the health center. If they have to do home visits, they can. So and very recently we added a community health worker to our CQM committee, so that where there's an opportunity for her to intervene, typically for her to intervene, it will be after 6 months of not attending an appointment, but we're engaging her in the conversation to be able to intervene even earlier if it helps. You know, for us to have a community, like a home visit, for instance, if it's someone that's the only way we'd be able to get to them. So that's the other thing we've done. And I see a question in the chat about whether it's chaotic or smooth with everyone being able to schedule an appointment. Shonda, are you here or able to respond to that? I know a lot of people from the EHE team are here. Shonda? Oh, okay. But so far, we've not had a problem, at least during the CQM meetings. I don't remember anyone bringing up a problem with like, because now different departments are scheduling, we're being overbooked. It's not been chaotic so far. So fingers crossed that it doesn't become chaotic. But so far, so good. We've not had any issues with different departments scheduling appointments. We just don't want to miss an opportunity because someone may be so pharmacy and they did not see, you know, we try to make sure that we all have the ability to schedule that first appointment within 7 days.
Yeah.
Yes?
Okay, well, thanks so much. That improving capacity, really directly improves that access. So it's good to see that you are able to do that and that it's going well so far. Do keep us posted. So we'll move to, I guess, Sangeeta is our final. Is Sangeeta still with us? Is our final sub that we'll hear from?
Yes, I'm here, Angie. Good morning and/or afternoon for those in a different time zone. So I'm with Prism, and we have the Relinkage as our QIP. So originally, I think with our efforts to obtain data were a bit challenging, to say the least, especially with this relinkage measure. And there has been some work that had to be done on our end to really figure out how we get to the baseline that we really want. So what we kind of made was a realistic, feasible goal, kind of like what Jamie mentioned earlier, which is by March 1st, we'll increase the number of patients living with HIV who are Ryan White funded and are re-engaged into care with a more than 12-month interruption in ART. So we aim to increase from a baseline of 2.3% to 7% for those relinked to care within a 7-day window with the prescribing providers. So that's essentially how we built out our aim statement. With our change components, I think we kind of were very general or broad. And we kind of said to increase the opportunities for engagement of the outreach and related empowerment staff to recruit and bring in more patients who have not been seen in clinic for over a year, just kind of start there at baseline. And then also, I think I include this in most of the QIP language, but just increased integration of information silos. I think that was a big one, even for this QIP in particular, primarily because to do the more than 12-month ART interrupted denominator was really difficult because we started with the new EMR last year. So certainly not easy because our legacy data has kind of been like very difficult to integrate with our new EMR. So that kind of is why we put that as like increased integration with the information silos and across departments. So like in general, I would say from like Q1 to Q2, essentially for the grant year, we really struggled again with getting the data down. So like our baseline really started more in June, but we've kind of picked our challenges back up and gotten to a timely point now where we're able to actually have a repeatable data extraction that occurs. I'd also like to add that with this relinkage measure, we also have other efforts kind of occurring across the board that fit this kind of project. So like, for example, we're outreaching to a lot of patients who are lost in care and have a B20 diagnosis. And like, we've been able to get that from our EMR system and kind of really be targeted and specific about that, and reaching out to patients who we've lost or haven't seen in clinic for at least an extended period of time, close to a year, if not exactly a year. I think someone said it earlier, but also coverage is really important. I was kind of thinking about that as that person said it. Coverage is super important, especially with the amount of changes in the healthcare landscape that are occurring regularly, and then also just the changes in staff capacity and availability, and then turnover that's related to that. Yeah, so certainly it's been a challenging QIP, but we wanted to make it realistic with our goal of 11% instead of like go full on ballistic about the goal being super high, because that's really difficult given the new EMR and all the other challenges I mentioned. So thank you. Appreciate the time.
Yeah, and thank you so much too. I know for you and Prism and so many others, it was a challenge, to try to get what we needed or what you needed for your QIP, for the denominators and stuff. So kudos to y'all for your dedication and your persistence. Thank you so much. And we have one more. We overlooked legacy. I'm so sorry, Brooke. Go ahead and.
Sorry. No worries at all. Just wanting to participate, give you all update. Legacy is doing linkage to care. Our goal is to try to have 98% of our clients that come through with mental health and substance abuse treatment, ensure that they're in care. Q1, we were continuing to do self-report. Q2, we started with confirming via E2 Dallas. As a support service agency, it's been a challenge to verify each of those clients coming into care have medical care in E2 Dallas for us to confirm that information, but we will continue to move in that manner and endeavor and figure out what's going on with E2 Dallas and what's expected. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Brooke, and thank you and Nisa too for your hard work and continuing to persist. And so I know we try to talk about some of this at the ECC, I think the last time with Thomas online, because a lot of our outpatient ambulatory clients are having no problems at all or see what you need to see, but sometimes that's not true for support services. So just kind of keep that in mind, and whatever needs to be entered, make sure that it's entered. And then we still need to, I guess, go back and check. I don't know if we ever got clarity on if it's an access issue, as far as like who has the different levels of who needs to see what, is that's why people can't see it or whatever. But we are so proud of our support services for verifying that their clients are in care when they've had to not use E2, and then also for trying to use E2. And we know it's a struggle for all of us. So thanks to everybody for your participation in this. We only have like our evaluation slide that's left after this. So if anybody has like one thing they want to say, like for a minute or something before we move to the evaluation, if this was like beneficial, if y'all like hearing from each other, we didn't actually get to, do all of these questions because we would need a lot more time to do that since we have 10 of y'all now. But if y'all would like the opportunity to, like that last bullet, if it's something that's going on that you want to run by the group to get information on, if that's something that y'all feel like is of value, then we can maybe try to build that into, all of our Ryan White breakouts for ECC or something. We can try to utilize ECC a little differently so we can have time to touch on a lot of the things that were mentioned today that we may not have been able to fully address. Anybody got a comment or a question or something for about a minute before we move to the final slide for the evaluation? See a message. Okay, thanks, Norma. Norma really liked this section, and Jamie, loved hearing from everybody today. I think lots of others too. Amanda from Dishes from Part B is here. Thanks, Amanda. Great meeting, everyone. Loved hearing about all the QIPs. Thanks for allowing me to attend. Thank you so much. Well, you're always welcome. So, okay, so we're at 11:28, so we can go ahead and move to our final slide and wrap up our session.
Thank you, everybody. I'll proceed.
Just sharing the sentiments of what the team have already said. Thank you for this session today. I really hope everybody was able to take home some knowledge or learn something, especially across agencies, especially across the ones that are actually sharing QIPs. So this has been great and very informative. If you guys can take a second to scan this QR code, 5 questions will pop up. And we just wanted to take some time to give a brief evaluation to help us improve our process for next time.
And the survey, we had a glitch, so the survey is not launching like it normally does, but we'll get it on the back end, and I will also include a link or the QR code in the follow-up email that I'll send out after, like I normally do after the webinar. So if you don't get it today, you'll have a couple more opportunities.
Angie, the link in the chat works for me at least.
Okay. Yeah, great. So you can see that you can use the link too that Octavio OP pasted from earlier.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
Dale. It worked for me too, so.
Okay. Good. I'm sorry. I was just
Hey.
meaning, normally it shows, it populates as we fill it out. That's what I meant by the launching. It was
Okay.
not live. The live part of it is not working correctly. But yeah, my apologies. But thanks for letting me know that is working on the other end. So, Oscar, if you want to close us out, and then whoever started the recording can stop shortly after that, and we're all done. Y'all have a great day.
That is perfect. So I have nothing else to say, but thank you so much. And we are looking forward to give you back the feedback, because that's what you do. You are the stars. You give us the info, we process, and we give you that back. So I mean, it's always looking forward to that exchange of opinions and that Excel spreadsheet coming on. Thank you, Dale. Thank you, Piper. Thank you, Sangeeta. To all those recipients, support and core. One more time, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Y'all have a great day.
Y'all have a wonderful day.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
And I'm stopping the recording now, Ange.
All right. Thank you. Bye.